Welcome back to the channel guys, and in today's video we are going to feature the team which was originally created by FP Stakes, and he used this team to hit legend I think couple of seasons back. So I think this is a very strong team and I was able to do really well with this team, and like some of the sets were really bad. So for the first couple of videos I'm going to showcase that how strong the boost is, and I found the losing condition in that particular game because of that boost itself. And apart from that, I have couple of sets which I played with it, and one of which is 5 and 0, so stay tuned for that. And before we start with these battles, if you are new to the channel and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you're already subscribed to the channel, a big thanks to all of you, that really means a lot. Also, if you want to join the Battlestate Discord server, the link to that is in the description down below. So without further delays, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. Picking up a positive lead in the form of this Mewtwo, and the opponent makes an immediate swap to their Dialga, so I swap into Dialga of my own. And as like with all the Dialga matchup goes, I have my Dialga as best buddied, so it favors a lot, like the best buddy boost really helps. And if the opponent's Dialga is not best buddied, then you definitely win that matchup in all the even shield scenario. So looks like their Dialga is best buddied Hundo, and I think it's a Shando as well. So really crazy thing, and I think we will be able to farm down their Dialga. Yes, we are able to do that. Maybe the opponent might have missed some of the Dragon Breaths, or the one Shadow Claw damage helped Dialga. I'm not really sure. But we will be able to pressure the shield, the last shield of the opponent, and they have a Mewtwo, and I make a swap to my Togekiss. And as you can see that there doesn't seem to be any win condition from for my opponent here, because I will be able to get to this ancient power as like mine ancient power as well. But they get a boost which is like not good for me, because Giratina will be obliterated by the charms now, and this ancient power will not do as much damage. So I throw the charge move immediately. Maybe what I could have done here is that I could have completely farmed down, but I think that Mewtwo was at a charge move. As you can see that they are at one, so I think they would have gotten to the charge move regardless. And as you can see that Mewtwo would have won the CMP there, and yeah, I think the boost really helped my opponent to secure that win. So moving on to the next one, picking up a negative lead this time, and I save swap to my Dialga. And crazy thing about Dialga is that it can win one shield in versus Togekiss matchup, and that also depends on whether Togekiss is able to sneak in a charge move or not. So they are able to sneak in a charge move, so that means that probably I will not be able to get to the next Iron Head. So as you can see that I'm not able to do that, so I will make a swap to my Togekiss now, and let's see what happens. So they will be throwing this ancient power, and I shield this one because I want to farm down this the opponent's Togekiss. And fortunately no boost there. And is this the battle with the boost, or am I mistaken? So I think this might not be the battle with the boost, but yeah, definitely it's not a boosted battle. So not really sure why I featured this one then, but yeah, I think it's a losing game now, because this Mewtwo will just go to town on our Giratina with those side strikes, and couple of side strikes will be enough to knock out my Giratina. So so yeah, my apologies for featuring this video. This really didn't showcase anything except for me getting my ass kicked. So moving on to the next one, and this is where the good stuff starts. So we are in a Zacian lead, and this lead is particularly positive for Giratina, especially if the Zacian is running close combat at Wild Charge. And I say this is a positive lead because Zacian, player from Zacian will not KO the Giratina, and whereas the Shadow Claws as well as the Shadow Ball will eventually add up. So as you can see, the Shadow Ball did as much damage, or like almost as much damage. Oh, this is the Wild Charge and close combat, so I'm not shielding the next charge move. Maybe not sure why the opponent stayed in this matchup, because this is a losing, definitely this is a losing matchup for Zacian without the Wild Charge. So in comes this Lugia, and we will be able to get to the next charge move, or I make a swap to defense form, sorry, not defense form, but Dialga. So that again was a questionable play that could have ended up really bad if they were running a Melmetal in the back. So fortunately they do have just this Mewtwo, so we will be able to throw this Iron Head, and this Iron Head will get shielded. So I cannot completely farm down the Mewtwo, so I decide to shield this one. Again, it's a questionable play, but we will be able to not farm down, and if it's something Shadow Ball, it will put Dialga in red. So they go for an Ice Beam, which does some decent chunk. I think Shadow Ball and Ice Beam both does the same amount of damage. But we will be able to throw this Draco, which does a lot of damage to Lugia, and Lugia is crazy tanky. I mean, it's one of my favorite Pokemons in this particular league, because if you manage to protect it up against something like Melmetal or an Excadrill, I think this Pokemon is really a beast. So moving on to the next match, picking up a negative lead in form of this Groudon, and if the Groudon is running Dragon Tail, then it's a negative lead for Giratina. Otherwise, the Mudshot one is really does really depend on whether the Giratina is able to land an Earthquake or not. So they go for this charge move, and it's a Fire Punch which we can obviously survive, and we will be able to throw this Ominous Wind, and this Ominous Wind, if it this Ominous Wind will KO. And now expecting opponent to come back in with a Pokemon and farm down this Giratina. So they come in with their Garchomp, which does couple of Dragon Tails before going down, and this is a kind of a perfect situation for us, because nothing short of Fire Blast will do anything to our Togekiss, and I am totally expecting some Outrage or Earth Power, but they end up Fire Blasting us, which is a very spicy move indeed. But they do have Dialga in the back, and again, this is the advantage of running a best buddy Dialga over the level 41, because as you can see, the opponent's Dialga is not best buddied, and the Dragon Breaths have just chunked away, and I can literally invest couple of shields and completely farm down their Dialga. So that's how important the best buddy is on the Dialga. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, going up against a former legend. I think that is a season 7 or 6, a season 6 or 7, suppose. So expecting this battle to be nothing short of very challenging. So they are running an altered form Giratina, which is a negative matchup in the lead for the Giratina origin. So now I go for this Iron Head, and I am expecting Dialga to be their only Steel type Pokemon, because otherwise it's going to be really bad. And now I come in with Togekiss because I want to get ahead on energy, because either way I would have to invest a shield on Giratina as well, and unfortunately the Dialga is able to get to another charge move, and I had to force 2 shields onto my Togekiss. So this is not really looking good for me. If they have something like a Metagross or a Melmetal in the back, the game is pretty much over. So they have a Togekiss of their own, so this is still good for me, because if I manage to kill this Togekiss and come up with a Shadow Ball, I think I will be able to win this one. And they shield their Togekiss as well. So the game is certainly not over yet, because the opponent took a lot of Dragon Breath damage from the Dialga, their opposing Giratina. So what I can do is I can try to farm this or not farm this down. Yeah, I think it was a smart decision, because getting rid of the Togekiss is the first priority, and now I just need to beat this altered form Giratina to the Shadow Ball, and we can survive one Dragon Claw or Shadow Sneak, so I don't need to worry about this. But this is going to be very close. I think the origin form Giratina must have been like really close to a charge move, if not already, and Shadow Ball knocks the Giratina out. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, again picking up a negative lead. So we'll have to save swap into my Dialga, and the opponent is staying in, and I like the display onto the opposing for my opponent's part, that they chunk Dialga's health away and they come in with their own Dialga, or something like Lugia or something like that, so that they can farm down the Dialga. So I really like this strategy. But coming in with Kyogre is certainly not a good one, because Kyogre will be forced to dump their to dump their shields if they want to keep them alive. And I wait for the very last minute to throw the Draco, because I want to do as much Dragon Breath damage as I can. So now I come in with Origin from Giratina and look to completely farm down this Kyogre. She definitely would want to respect a potential Blizzard, but they go for a Surf, which is even worse for me, getting a bit of lag. So fortunately, they bank their unfortunately, I'm still not aware of that, whether they have a Blizzard or they are rocking Surf and Thunder. So need to worry about that as well. So, and they go for this Ancient Power. I managed to catch it onto my Togekiss, and we will be able to farm down their Togekiss, which is quite good. Let's see what do they have in the back. So opponent might be waiting for the swap timer, and they have an opposing Giratina, so this is not looking good for me, because or they throw their energy, which is good. I think that was the ideal situation, because if they would have farmed us down, that would be really bad for my Giratina, and I think that might have been their play as well, because now I will be able to get to this the Shadow Ball. And since they did a misplay, I was worried that they will be able to throw this Blizzard, and if it's a Blizzard, it's basically wrap up. So but they go for Surf, so yeah, most likely they are running Surf and Thunder. So that ended up being on the moveset part. I think if it was Blizzard, the game was definitely wrapped up. So picking up another Togekiss Lead, so got a lot of Togekiss Lead at that range. So they make a swap to the Melmetal, which is obviously not good for me. But Dialga is that much ahead on energy. I think I can go for this Draco, not expecting a shield from the Melmetals, and I am not willing to invest anything on this Dialga as well, because I can I will look to completely farm down their Melmetal with the Giratina, but they are farming a bunch of extra energy. So I throw this Iron Head out of panic, which will give this Melmetal more farm down, which is not particularly good. And I decide to let go of Dialga, because I thought that they will be at 2 moves, which they are. So that was that was a slight misplay in my opinion, but we still have 2 shields, and this will depend on what Pokemon they will have in the back. So now they go for this Ancient Power, and this will do some decent damage, but I want to throw the Shadow Ball before bailing out to my Togekiss. So going for the Shadow Ball, which gets shielded. So we are at a shield advantage, and if they have a Dialga in the back, I think this will make up the shield advantage will really help. But the shield advantage just goes away like this, because we need to shield this Ancient Power. But they are not swapping out. Maybe they have a Dialga or something Garchomp in the back. So they do have their own Giratina, and I was really hoping for a boost there, because that would really help. But yeah, as usual, I don't get any boost. So like here, my only win con is to potential. Yeah, I don't think there is any win con. The opponent's Giratina farmed a lot of energy, so I still shield, but the game is pretty much wrapped, and they get an unnecessary boost as well. So immediately quitting after that. But yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, picking a positive lead finally, and let's see what Mewtwo would like to do here. And I try to force a CMP, which I obviously lose, but this will allow Mewtwo to stay in this matchup now, because it's a CMP and they cannot bail. So going for this Ominous, and Ominous gets a shield, which is quite good for me, because now I will be investing a shield of my own and look to potentially win this lead matchup. So we charge all the way up to a Shadow Ball, and throw this Ominous Wind just one Psycho Cut away when Mewtwo will get to its charge move. So Mewtwo will not shield, and they have a Yveltal in the back. So this is like the perfect situation for me, because like probably Yveltal will look to completely farm us down, but we do have our own Togekiss to shut this Yveltal down. And as you can see, Shadow Balls have chunked away at this Yveltal. I mean, this was Ominous Wind, but a combination of Shadow Ball and Ominous Wind have chunked away. So in comes their Landorus Therian form, which is not good for me, to be honest. I would need to shield the superpower. But the good thing about Togekiss is that it completely hardwalls hardball something like Yveltal, so I can look to chip away at this Landorus with my Togekiss, which I did. And even if it's a superpower earthquake, we can survive. We cannot survive an earthquake definitely, but superpower, yes, we can. And they would need to dump all their energy, and this will allow Togekiss to get to knock out their Landorus. And now the Yveltal is just a sitting duck in front of this Togekiss, because I think we can take 4 Dark Pulses, and yeah, the opponent realized that they cannot win and they quit the game. So yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, picking up a positive, depending upon, yeah, they are running much short, so this will totally depend on if I manage to land an earthquake, if they manage to land an earthquake or not. So now we go for the Shadow Ball straight away. I don't like to bait here, but maybe it's a good bait, maybe it's not. It really depends on how the opponent would shield the Shadow Ball or not. So they managed to land an earthquake. So now I do not need to shield this Fire Punch because we can survive this. But yeah, let's see. So they swap into Yveltal hoping to catch a Shadow Ball, but I was really paying attention this time around, because there were instances where I managed and somehow they went for Focus Blast. I'm not really sure why. But we will be able to completely farm down their Yveltal, and since the Groudon was running, I think I'm confusing the matchups of Groudon between Mudshot. I think Mudshot is a favorable matchup for Giratina versus the Dragon Tail. It's early stages of the Master League. I'm not really, I do not really recall all the matchups, but this matchup I fairly know that Togekiss is able to win because Mudshots are not doing enough damage, and Fire Punch eventually, though it adds up, but in the zero shields it wins, and they have a Dialga with no shield. And yeah, I was totally planning to go Draco, but yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Giratina mirror matchup. So this matchup really depends on whether you are able to land a Shadow Ball or not, and I generally don't like to bait here because Giratina can survive one Shadow Ball. So it's a good chance that the opponents might end up baiting, just like my opponent did. So now I make an aggressive swap to Dialga because I do have a strong counter to their Giratina in the back in the form of my Togekiss. And in the even shields, Togekiss, the Dialga can really win because the Iron Head will do massive amount of damage to that Togekiss, as you can see. And unfortunately, Togekiss will be able to get to a charge move. I think I let go of the Dialga here, but maybe I could have shielded the Dialga as well. That would have allowed me an extra farm, but I wanted to retain the shield rather than the switch because I think the switch will be critical here unless they have a Kyogre in the back. That's going to be really bad for me. So I let go of the charge move expecting an Ominous Wind, but they end up throwing a Shadow Ball instead. So wasting a lot of energy, and now I will have to... Yeah, I think I was counting. I was positive that it was Ominous Wind, but yeah, they ended up baiting me with an Ominous Wind. So this matchup is now really negative for me. If I had not shielded that charge move, I think there was still a chance for me, and I was hoping for a boost here, but yeah, it's not happening for me. So they shield this charge move, and I think if I had shielded that but yeah, I think if I had not shielded that Ominous Wind, I think the first Rock Slide would have knocked us out, and the opponent just PM'd me with throwing this Earth Power. So yeah, good games. Moving on to the next one, picking up the worst possible lead, getting a bit of lag in the starting, and yeah, going for swapping into my safe swap Dialga, and the opponent is not swapping out, which is not good for me. But they come in with a Metagross, which is not a very good answer to Dialga, and Dialga can really tear through this Metagross because Dragon Breath, Iron Head, and Draco Meteor will... Draco Meteor just basically almost one-shots the Metagross, so hence they would invest a shield, and at this point I'm fully committed investing 2 shields in my Dialga because I cannot allow to lose... I cannot allow losing the switch advantage here. So we go for this Iron Head, and the opponent double shields their Metagross, and if I win to win the switch, I would want to shield this one, but we will be able to throw this Iron Head or even Draco. So I go for this Draco, and as you can see, I tried to swap, but he did a really great job, and I know this opponent, he told me that he wanted to snipe the Dialga with a Focus Blast, but ended up Dialga ends up winning the CMP. So now they make a swap to their Mewtwo, and at this point the game is pretty much wrapped up, because nothing Mewtwo can do will one-shot us. Ice Beam does some decent damage, and now I will be able to do pull off some extra farm and go for the Shadow Ball. The Shadow Ball will be able to knock out the Mewtwo comfortably, and the Metagross is very low, so they throw this charge move, which will be enough to knock out the Giratina, but we do have fairly healthy Dialga in the back, and the opponent will just quit realizing they cannot win. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed watching this one and this team, and thanks to FP Sticks for using this team. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.